Dear viewers, welcome back to my channel. Marriage is not the end. In today's episode, I don't want to make any foreshadowing, because my hands were shaking just when I read the following story for the first time. The narrator of the story, we call her Lily. Lily said that her biggest regret in her life was not that she fell in love with the wrong person, but that when that person got down on one knee and proposed to her, she actually blurted out the words "I do." In today's program, we start with the fatal "I do." The story takes place in Los Angeles. The moment Lily had been most looking forward to in her life had finally arrived. That day she received a call from her boyfriend Mark, saying he had a surprise for her. She ran all the way to the Intercontinental Hotel in the city center. The moment she opened the banquet hall door, she was stunned. Rose petals on the ground paved a path, candlelight flickered, and champagne towers were stacked higher than people. Several of her best friends suddenly jumped out from behind the screen, covering their mouths and laughing. Then, Mark walked out from the depth of light and shadow, and knelt down on one knee under everyone's gaze. He was wearing Lily's favorite navy blue suit and holding a red velvet ring box in his hand. Lily felt dizzy at that moment. She had been waiting for this day for too long. She didn't even wait for Mark to speak. She covered her face and complained while crying and laughing, "Oh my God, why didn't you tell me in advance? I didn't even put on makeup. But, I do. She stretched out her hand and waited for the cold ring to fit on her ring finger. Mark smiled and pressed the switch on the ring box. With a bang, a clown doll popped out of the box, with an exaggerated smile on its face and a sharp scream. The whole place was silent for 3 seconds. Then, Mark's group of brothers burst into thunderous laughter. Some people laughed so hard that they slapped their thighs, and some people laughed so hard that they squatted on the ground. Mark's good friend Tom laughed so much that he burst into tears. He pointed at Lily and shouted, "Look at her. She actually takes it seriously. She thinks Mark really wants to marry her." Lily's hand was still frozen in midair. The smile on her face solidified little by little, and finally turned into a blank and overwhelmed expression. Mark looked at her, the curve of his lips slowly flattening. He asked, "What's wrong with you? You don't really think I want to marry you, do you?" This sentence was like a basin of ice water pouring down from Lily's head. She blinked, almost relying on her instinctive desire to survive, and smashed the hot clown doll into Mark's face, making a smile that was uglier than crying. "How is that possible? What a beautiful idea you have. You want to marry me? I'm not married yet." The atmosphere became even weirder. In the long silence, everyone stared at her. Until a woman's laughter broke the awkwardness. "Mark, it seems that your female brother is not ordinary to you." "I do, ha 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 ha." Lily followed the sound and looked over, then noticed a girl standing in the corner. Wearing a white dress, with long hair hanging over her shoulders, she was looking at her with a smile. Next to the girl stood Mark's friend Tom, who was holding her waist. Lily's eyes fell on the girl's face, and she couldn't look away. That face looked exactly like hers. Especially those eyes and lips, they seemed to be carved from the same mold. Lily opened her mouth, but no words came out. She stared at that face almost in confusion. Her chest seemed to be blocked by something, and the soreness was about to overflow her throat. 5 years. She and Mark had been together day and night for 5 years. She has been chasing him since college and has been chasing him for 5 years. She thought that even if he had liked someone else, these 5 years of companionship would at least buy him a moment of true love. She was wrong. Big mistake. She finally understood why Mark always made her face him every time he went to bed with her. She once thought it was intimacy, love. Only now did she realize that he was just looking through her at another face. Mark put out the cigarette in his hand and the smoke dissipated, revealing his handsome and almost perfect face. He came over with a hint of impatient comfort in his tone. "You're not crying, are you? Cece wanted to see you, so she made a joke." He paused, seeming to realize that he didn't need to explain so much to her. Tom took Lily's arm and led her to the seat. "Lily, come, sit here. Let me introduce you. This is my sister-in-law, Cece." Everyone looked at Lily. Look at her stiff movements, her flushed face, and her unfocused eyes. At that moment, Lily wished there was a crack in the ground that she could crawl through. Cece looked at her and smiled softly. "You have good taste. I also like to use this perfume." Lily's eyes fell on Cece's hand. On her ring finger was a diamond ring as big as a pigeon egg. Lily knew that ring. Some time ago, Mark took a jewelry magazine and asked her which one looked better, and she chose it herself. "Why, you want to marry me?" At that time, she was still complacent, feeling that she was one step closer to that position. Mark just smiled and said nothing. Now Lily understands. He was laughing at her pretentiousness. "Call sister-in-law." Tom poked Lily with his elbow and put a glass of whiskey into her hand. Lily raised her head and looked at Mark. He also looked at her, stunned, and moved his lips as if he wanted to say something. But he finally kept his mouth shut. Sister-in-law, sister-in-law. Lily's voice was as thin as a mosquito's cry. After saying that, she hurriedly picked up the glass of wine to cover her red eyes. The strong alcohol burned down the throat and into the stomach, burning and painful. She choked and coughed. Cece took a symbolic sip of the wine and pushed the cup to Mark. Here you go. Mark, who has always had a misophobia, naturally took it and drank it in one gulp. He touched Cece's head, and his tone was as gentle as a different person. You have a bad stomach, drink less. Cece was stunned for a moment and pointed at herself. Having a bad stomach? Me? You must have remembered it wrong. Mark's movements froze. He glanced at Lily subconsciously. Lily quickly looked away and stared at the plate in front of her. Her stomach ached more and more. That familiar, swelling pain. Cold sweat soaked her back, and she felt like vomiting became more and more intense. She couldn't bear it anymore, pushed away the chair and stood up. Sorry. Then she stumbled out of the box. Lily hid in the bathroom stall, hugged the toilet and vomited. She was trembling all over, tears and cold sweat flowing down her face. The phone rang. It's Mark's news. Mark, are you okay? Lily stared at the message, her fingers hovering above the screen, and finally didn't reply. Another message popped up. Mark, while you are out, go to the supermarket and buy a few boxes of ultra-thin ones, the ones we usually use. I bought it and put it in my car. Transfer, $500 to Mark. Buy another bottle of lubrication, she's afraid of pain. Keep the extra money for yourself. There was a violent churn in my stomach. Lily hugged the toilet and vomited again. She vomited until the bile came out, and her whole body was shaking with pain. She shook her hands and typed 3 words, go by yourself, then put the phone into airplane mode. Lily did not return to the box. She walked straight out of the hotel. Mark's black Porsche was parked on the side of the road. On the passenger seat, her blanket and slippers were originally placed, but they were long gone and replaced with a pile of cute pink doll pillows. Lily looked away. She stood on the streets of Los Angeles at 2 o'clock in the morning, looking at the brightly lit city, feeling like a joke. She also took back her 5-year unrequited love. When she got home, Lily felt dizzy and uncomfortable. She fell on the bed and felt that the whole ceiling was spinning. She remembered the past. At that time, she got Mark drunk and always forced him to say things against his will. Say it. Say Mark loves Lily. Said Mark is going to marry Lily. He was very good when he was drunk. When she said something, he would follow her. She still has those videos on her phone. She turned on her phone and deleted all the videos. The message from Mark was half an hour ago. Where are the people? Not back yet? Does your stomach hurt again? I'm coming out to find you. Lily put his number on the blacklist, pulled the quilt over her head. After an unknown amount of time, the door opened. A drunken embrace embraced her. It's me. Mark's big hands roamed her body. As usual, he kissed her face, squeezed her waist, and breathed heavier and heavier. Lily suddenly woke up. Let me go. She struggled desperately. Mark, let go. As if he didn't hear anything, Mark pulled open her shirt with such force that it hurt her. Get out. Lily couldn't help it, and tears flowed down her face and onto the pillow one by one. That's a shame. It is the shame of having no love, no identity, and being treated as a tool. Mark. Snap. The room was quiet. Mark was slapped away in the face. Lily's hands were still trembling. She pointed at the door and said in a sharp voice, get out. Don't fucking touch me. There was dead silence in the room. Lily herself was confused. Mark was also stunned. Mark. It was still so humiliating to be slapped. Mark was breathing heavily and clenching his fists tighter and tighter. He stood up abruptly. Lily closed her eyes subconsciously. Bang. He punched the switch of the bedside lamp. The lamp shattered, plunging the room into darkness. What the hell are you crazy about? Mark's voice sounded in the darkness, with suppressed anger. Lily pushed him away hard. Get out. Mark was silent for a few seconds and said coldly, it's inexplicable. Why don't you just take a nap? Lily interrupted him. Mark, there is no relationship between us anymore. Do you understand? I am a shameless person and I don't want to be a mistress. Mark sneered as if he heard a joke. Is there any relationship between this? I give you money and you sleep with me. It's not a matter of course. Beast. Lily interrupted him bitterly. She staggered to her feet and managed to steady her body. Mark, I'm not the fucking prostitute you paid for. Mark's patience was completely exhausted. He tried to pull her away, but she slapped him again. When he looked up again, there was already an unfamiliar coldness in his eyes, and a bit of mischievous sarcasm. What's the difference? Compared with them, you are just cleaner. Lily slapped Mark like crazy, tears flying away with the movement. She screamed, "Get out of here." The voice-activated lights on the opposite side were turned on by her. Mark grabbed her hand and pushed her down on the bed. "Lily, in what capacity are you making trouble with me? Mistress? Canary? Or the one you thought you were, your girlfriend?" Lily bit his arm. "The blood is hot, and so are the tears. Only one heart is colder than the frost and snow in December. This is the house I bought." Mark grabbed her chin with such force that he almost crushed her bones. "Who should go?" Lily slapped his hand away, put on her coat, and took off the ring on her ring finger. That was what he brought her back from the auction. She tore off the necklace on her wrist, which was also a gift from him, and the heirloom bracelet that he forcibly thrust into her that was said to be left by his grandmother. The bracelet hit the ground and shattered. Lily picked up the kitten spinning at Mark's feet and walked towards the door without looking back. Mark's face turned completely dark. "Okay, you are cruel enough." He took a few deep breaths and managed to suppress his anger. "Lily, think clearly, you are nothing without me." What answered him was a loud bang. It's 4 o'clock in the morning in Los Angeles, and the streets are deserted. The night in early spring was very cool and it was raining lightly. Lily protected the kitten and her whole body got wet. When the wind blows, people can't stop shivering. The cell phone in my pocket kept ringing. She clicked on it and it was an unfamiliar number. When she got through, it was the voice that was so familiar that it made her sick. "Are you really sick? Why the hell did you block me? Where have people gone? It's raining outside, go home quickly." Lily pursed her lips and said nothing. "Speak." The engine on the opposite side roared. "You had a quarrel and ran away from home. So late at night, you want to be a lonely ghost outside? Are you really treating yourself like a child? You." Toot. Lily hung up the phone and turned off the phone. She put her phone away, ignored it and kept vibrating, and just walked forward, wandering aimlessly in this city that does not belong to her. She really wanted to go home. Go back to her real home, to the small town where her mother is waiting for her. Her steps became heavier and heavier, and her hands became too weak to hold the kitten. "My head feels very hot and my lower abdomen hurts." She slowly squatted down and put the kitten on the ground. "UN, yourself." Dark spots flickered in front of her eyes, instantly engulfing her consciousness. Lily's consciousness seemed to have drifted for a long time, to a faraway place. When she woke up, she was already lying in the hospital. The curtains were closed, letting in a ray of light, and it was hard to tell whether it was morning or afternoon. "Are you awake?" The nurse changed the drip needle. "You have to be careful in the first trimester. Ask your husband to sign for the medicine. The kitten is in my office. Remember to pick it up." There was a bang in Lily's brain, leaving only a blank. Child. Her and Mark's child. How ridiculous. "Nurse, help me make an appointment for an abortion." She heard her own voice, which was too dry to be like her own. "I don't want it." After confirming the time for surgery on Saturday, Lily walked out of the hospital holding the kitten in her arms. A black Cadillac stopped in front of her. The car window rolled down, revealing a face that looked exactly like hers. Cece looked at her, smiled and said, "Get in the car." In the cafe, Cece was stirring coffee and looking at Lily with a playful expression. "I know your relationship with Mark. To put it bluntly, you are just a sleeping partner. How much is your love worth in his eyes? How much is your night worth?" She seemed to have taken off her docile and well-behaved mask, and her words were particularly unpleasant. Lily raised her head and looked at her. "Does it have anything to do with you? At least I slept through it, and I slept for 5 more years. Mark's skills in bed are quite good, not bad at all. As for the value you mentioned, does his family's ancestral bracelet count?" Cece's smile froze. The metal spoon fell into the cup and splashed coffee, staining her white dress. "You came to me today just to attack me with such innocuous words?" Lily stared at her. Cece stopped laughing and her eyes turned cold. "I want you to leave him." "I will leave." "Not enough." Cece spoke faster. "Lily, I hate people like you who occupy the magpie's nest the most. If it weren't for you, I should have married Mark long ago. It's you who are shameless and took advantage of the situation. It was you who took what was from me." She laughed sinisterly, moved closer to Lily, and said in a low voice, "I'll let your father pay with his life, is that okay?" Lily's pupils suddenly narrowed. "It's you." The next second, scalding coffee splashed on Cece's face. Cece screamed in pain. "Cece, I'm going to kill you." Lily pinched her neck, her mind filled with thoughts of the scene before her father's death. Her father was a small businessman and opened an auto repair shop. 3 years ago, he was found to have committed tax evasion. his company was sealed, and he faced huge fines and criminal liability. Her father said he was driven beyond his ability to live. He said that only if he died could he and his daughter find a way to survive. Lily watched helplessly as her father jumped off the roof of the company and landed in front of her, covered in blood. The family collapsed. The mother was stimulated and had mental problems. And she was picked up by Mark at that time. He exchanged money for her body, which lasted for 3 years. Go to hell. Lily's eyes were scarlet, and she hit Cece with her fist desperately. Go to hell. A rush of footsteps rushed into the cafe. Cece raised her bloody face and smiled at Lily. Lily, goodbye. Lily was knocked to the ground by a strong force from behind. She turned around and met Mark's eyes full of resentment and hatred. Cece has a coagulation disorder, he yelled at her. You are such a vicious woman. Hospital corridor. She killed my father. Lily shouted at the top of her lungs. Mark pinched his eyebrows, his emotions on the verge of explosion. This matter needs to be investigated. Lily, calm down, okay? I don't want to quarrel with you. Cece is still in the emergency room, and we will talk about everything after she is safe. Lily ripped her jacket off her shoulders and smacked it in Mark's face. The zipper made a bloody gash in the corner of his eye. Her life is important, but my father's is not. Mark wiped the blood from his face and his tone became colder. What do you want? I want her to pay with her life. No way. Mark interrupted her. Lily, I think you are crazy about gains and losses. Don't just put the shit basin on other people's heads. It's impossible for Cece. Snap. Lily's palms tingled. That's what she said herself. Mark, you believe me. She was the one who killed my father. Mark pressed his molars, and when he raised his eyes again, his eyes were only cold. So, how much does it cost to solve it? 20 million? 50 million? He took out his cell phone and said, tell me a number. Lily looked at him in disbelief. Tears seemed to have opened, and they fell to the ground. In your eyes, this is who I am? Every word is laced with blood. Isn't it? Mark sneered. You've been arguing with me for a long time just to get more money. I think the black card I gave you is not enough. Your father died a worthy death. After all these years, he can still help you get so much money. Lily's ears were buzzing. She couldn't believe that these words would come out of his mouth. The man who once held her, comforted her, and said he wanted to change to a bigger sofa in case she has a child would one day pick up her bloody wound again and stab her with a knife. It hurts. Heartbreaking pain. It's like the pain of peeling a person's skin, cramping, and breaking the flesh. She never expected Mark to love her. But at least, don't hurt her like this. A roar that didn't sound like a human voice escaped from Lily's throat. Mark, I hate you. I hate you. Hate you. She grabbed anything around her that could hit him, medical records, trash cans, magazines on the chair. Go away. Die too. My eyesight went dark and my lower abdomen ached. Mark was frightened. He hugged her body, and apologized to her over and over again. Said he didn't mean it. That's just angry talk. Tears of despair ran down his face. Lily looked at him, wishing she had never known him in her life. You are really not human. Bloody red slipped from between her legs. 1 drop, 2 drops stained Mark's shoes. He was confused. The nurse rushed over and pushed him away. What's wrong with the family? She's pregnant. She can't be stimulated. Lily's consciousness gradually blurred. In a daze, she could only see Mark's lips opening and closing. He looked flustered like she had never seen him before, as if he was apologizing. It seemed like he was telling her not to sleep. She used her last strength and said, Mark, I will never forgive you in my life. I could vaguely hear the doctor's exchanges in my ears. The family asked them to keep the adults and children together. But when the patient says he wants to abort the child, who does he listen to? The patient is in a coma. Listen to the family first. Lily slowly opened her eyes. The operating light was glaring, and 2 lines of clear tears fell down. I don't want children. The operating room was quiet for a moment. The nurse came over and said in a very soft voice, Are you awake? Don't move, we are going to give you an anesthetic. I said, don't have kids. Lily's eyes fell on the ceiling, and her words were squeezed out one by one. The patient's opinion is the main priority. Another voice said, Contact the family and ask him to sign. Someone walked out quickly. Lily closed her eyes. Her consciousness began to drift again. Drifting, falling back to many years ago. At that time, my father was still there, my mother wasn't crazy, and Mark hadn't become what he is now. The 2 of them are family friends. When Mark was a child, he didn't like to talk much. When adults teased him, he would hide away with a cold face. Lily is the king of children, has a carefree personality and is very popular with her elders. After hearing too many compliments, I naturally felt a little more unreasonable and arrogant like a child when facing Mark. She always ordered him around. As soon as they met, she asked Mark to bring her tea and water. Even playing house, she was the queen and he could only be her subordinate. Mark doesn't like to talk, but he is very obedient. Basically, he does whatever she asks. In this way, I grant you the right to be my little follower from now on. Lily looked at Mark, who was a head taller than her, and patted his shoulder on tiptoe. He said he was a follower, but she was the one who went to find him every time. If you want to eat, you have to feed him, and if you want to sleep, you have to sleep with him. She thought that Mark also had a good temper. If it were her, she would have hated that little brat who was making everything possible. Mark's parents like her very much. For this reason, Mark's father also went to her house, hoping to arrange a baby wedding with her father. She was still young at that time and did not understand that her father meant to look down on the Mark family. Your dad seems to want to marry you to me. Lily pulled Mark and laughed, her mind filled with images of marriages and TV dramas. Then how much do I need to spend to marry you? Is 5 suitcases enough? 10 suitcases? How much do you want? Mark just stared at his father in the living room, nodding and bowing to her father. That was the first time he shook off her hand. Then just leave. After that, Lily didn't see Mark again for nearly 10 years. We met again when he came back from abroad and they went to the same university. The moment they met, Lily's heart suddenly became clear. She likes him. I like it very much. So she pursued Mark crazily. But he changed, he began to avoid her and stopped talking to her. Even if he saw her at home, he would just go back to the room and never come out. Yow yow. Mark's mother said in a gentle voice, Mark has someone he likes. It's just that the girl is too proud. She doesn't want to come back from abroad and doesn't want to see us. Until now, Mark doesn't even show us her photo. He only knows her name is Cece. Lily was stunned for a long time before slowly accepting the reality. But they're not together, are they? Yeah. Mark's mother sighed, but Mark is a stubborn kid, just like his dad. His dad has been working outside for almost 10 years because of. Now you and Mark are a perfect match, but Mark. She said no more. The girl who never showed up became a knot in Lily's heart. Mark, show me her photo. Let me see who is better, her or me. Hello, Mark. It has nothing to do with you. Mark pushed her away. Lily, I don't want to see you. Lily was hurt by these words for a long time. After that, she rarely went to see Mark. But the love in my heart has not weakened at all. Until her family went bankrupt. My father jumped off a building, my mother went crazy, and debt collectors would come knocking on my door at any time. The family became street rats. Then, Mark found her and gave her a card. The money in it was neither too much nor too little, and it could pay off the debt, but it could ensure the temporary safety of her and her mother. Come to Los Angeles with me. Sleep once and I'll give you a card. What about Cece? Lily asked. Mark stared at her for a long time. When she comes back, you give way. Lily still doesn't understand why Mark fell in love with Cece, who was so similar to her, but was unwilling to give her any love. She doesn't understand. It was she who met him first. In the end, he became Cece's stand-in. Are you humiliating her? Or is it to take revenge on her father for those overly straightforward words back then? She doesn't understand. Mark, I don't understand you at all. The ward was empty. The curtains were drawn, and the light that dimly filtered through was the color of dusk. Lily subconsciously touched her belly. The nurse pushed the door open and came in. Seeing her movements, she paused and said, the operation went well. Take good care of yourself and don't think too much. Thank you. Your cat was taken away by Mr. Mark. He will come in the evening. After changing the intravenous needle, the nurse pushed the trolley out. The door closed softly. Lily's mind went blank. She couldn't think about it. Just keep your eyes open and stare at the ceiling. When it got dark, the door opened again. The footsteps stopped beside the bed, the flight box landed, and the kitten meowed softly. Lily tilted her head, a pool of stagnant water in her eyes. Why didn't you tell me? There was no light in the room, and through the light seeping in from outside the door, Mark's always scrutinizing expression could be seen clearly. Lily, I'm talking to you. Answer me. Lily is very tired. I have been tired of dealing with Mark all these years, afraid that he would be angry and afraid that he would not like it. Now that I have broken the pot, I feel a sense of relief. Just treat her as mute and unable to speak. I will never forgive you. Lily thought in her mind, whether he smiled or not when Mark said this. What qualifications does he have to discuss merits and demerits in front of her? Lily, you are more cruel than me. I can't accept, Lily, that you killed our child with your own hands. That was a life. Lily, you are too cruel, really. We need to cause trouble. You're so noisy. Lily interrupted him. Mark was startled. Then, something hot fell on the back of Lily's hand. Did he cry? Lily stared at his face carefully. The light was too dim, and Mark was used to hiding his emotions too deeply, so she couldn't see clearly. After knowing him for so many years, she still didn't understand him at all. Get out, Lily said. Mark turned his face away from her, nodded, picked up the flight case and left. It turned out that he was really crying. How strange. Lily, you're going to regret this. The last bit of light was blocked by the door panel. In the huge ward, Lily was left alone with the darkness. There is nothing to regret. Anyway, she will leave tomorrow and never come back. Lily was discharged from the hospital alone. Without thinking about where to go, she bought a ticket to the farthest place from Los Angeles, a small town on the East Coast, Portland, Maine. The city is getting smaller and smaller in the window. She canceled all her social media accounts, changed her phone card to a new one, and after looking through the content about Mark in her photo album and memos, she restored her phone to its factory settings. All over again. She still has a ways to go. She used the black card that Mark had given her to pay off the remaining debt, and also withdrew part of it to fund her flower shop. He owed her this. He deserves it. She did not deliberately conceal her whereabouts. On the one hand, with Mark's power, he can find her no matter where she goes. On the other hand, with Mark's temperament as a young man, he would never get along with her. He wished he could end his relationship with her, so how could he be entangled with her endlessly? 3 years passed uneventfully. Lily's flower shop has a good business and has opened several branches in the small city of Portland. Normally, her work is shared by employees, so she goes to the market to pick out goods, and then bask in the sun with the cats she picked up. Yuan Yuan is a big fat orange. It balled up in her lap and purred loudly. Lazy Yuan Yuan, fat Yuan Yuan, you are my mother's good Yuan Yuan. The wind chime by the door rang. Lily didn't turn around and called the store staff to greet her. There are customers here to buy flowers. Then she continued to play with the kitten. Until, a man stood in front of her, his tall figure blocking most of the sunlight. Lily looked up. TSKO Mark, you're blocking my sun. She moved the bench. You can spend it in the store and choose it yourself. Stop staring at me, I won't give you a discount. She thought that he was probably passing by on a business trip, and by chance he came to her flower shop and stood in front of her. Lily, you're just like this. He held back the rest of the words. You can guess it. It was just that he felt that she was too cold, that her heart was still, that she didn't scold him or jump up and slap him, which was abnormal. It's been so many years. I've been through so much. If she still trapped herself in the past, she wouldn't be Lily. Who will accompany him to Hate Hai Qingtian? She's not that free. Lily, come home with me, he said. Lily looked at him with a faint smile for a while, then turned around and shouted into the store, bundle the wormwood. Go and get rid of bad luck. In the past 3 years, Mark seems to have changed a lot. If she had spoken like this in the past, he would have been embarrassed a long time ago. But now, he just looked at her and asked again, come home with me, okay? Lily gradually stopped smiling. I'm doing fine now. Don't bother me, okay? The clerk handed over the bouquet very discerningly. Lily took it and stuffed it into Mark's arms. Give it to you. Mark clutched the bouquet of flowers tightly, so hard that his joints turned white. After a while, he took out his wallet, took out a large wad of bills, and handed it to the employee. Money for the bouquet. The employee was shocked. Sir, this is too much. Seeing that she was about to push him back, Lily took the lead and took the money. Then thank you, Mr. Mark. I will take you to open a small stove tonight. Mark didn't say anything and left with the flowers in his arms. His figure was still upright, but he seemed to have lost a lot of weight, and his coat looked empty hanging on his body. Sister, who is he? The employee asked. No one, Lily said, it's just a chance encounter. In the evening, it snowed heavily. Old location, please close the store and come. Lily voiced in the group, it's snowing heavily, please be safe on the road. Employees came to the shabu shabu restaurant one after another. In the hot private room, the copper pot was bubbling with heat, and the beef and mutton rolls were piled up on the table. What kind of fortune did you make today? The assistant asked while cooking the meat. Another employee covered her mouth and laughed. Today, a fool came to the flower shop. A bunch of wormwood, given this number. She gestured. Everyone exclaimed. Several people burst out laughing. This is a big mistake. Sister, where did you recruit the god of wealth? Not necessarily, someone teased. Maybe someone likes our boss and wants to pay attention to him. The heckling grew louder. Lily smiled. took a chopstick of meat and gave it to the employee. You talk a lot. Eat yours. The snow outside the window is getting heavier and heavier. Through the glass, you can see the snowflakes swirling and falling under the street lamp. After 3 rounds of drinking, Lily felt a little uncomfortable in her stomach, so she put on her coat and went to the pharmacy next door to buy some stomach medicine. As soon as I stepped out, I tripped over the thick snow. It doesn't hurt, but my head is spinning and my body is covered in snow. Lily, when will you learn to be steady? 2 big hands went under her armpits and lifted her up. Lily squinted, trying her best to recognize the man in front of her. The tip of his nose was red from the cold, and his eyelashes were covered with frost. Who are you? You are. The man took something out of his coat pocket, grabbed her face, and stuffed it directly into her mouth. His hands were so cold, like ice cubes, that she shivered from the cold. Stomach medicine. He said, stop drinking. I will take you home. Give me the address. Lily blinked, focusing on his eyes. There, she was drunk with red cheeks. Mark. Okay? He didn't say anything, just pulled her away. Let me go. Lily couldn't get away. Mark, I asked you to let go. Are you deaf? Mark moved forward stubbornly. The snow on his shoulders fell softly, revealing large areas of wet clothing. He seemed to have stood in the snow for a long time. You fucking let go. Lily was angry, and with a strong force, she pulled her hand out of Mark's palm and then slapped him. You hurt me. What are you looking at? Believe it or not, I will slap you. Snow is coming from directly ahead. Mark opened his coat to shield her from the wind. Lily, let's go home. On a snowy day, there were almost no people on the roadside. The whole street is quiet. There is only the howling wind and the fluttering snow. And Mark's whimpering. He pinched her shoulders, and her red eyes, either from the cold or from crying, had melted the snow on their eyelashes and were dripping down. The mist overflowing from his lips blurred his face. He couldn't help crying. Cried like a child. I'm sorry. Lily, I didn't mean it, I didn't want to hurt you. Forgive me, forgive my disgusting pride, forgive my anger. Lily, punish me, give me another chance. Lily, I love you, I have always loved you. I hate your father, and I hate myself even more for being cowardly. I met Cece abroad. Lily, she looks just like you. I feel like I like her very much, I want to think about her all the time. I want to use her to forget you, Lily. I feel that I have been treated like that by your family, how can I still like you? I escape, I hurt you again and again, I don't know what I want. What should I do? By the end of the conversation, Mark became incoherent. He talked about how he had convinced himself over the years that the person he loved was not her. He hurt her and pushed her away for nothing more than self-protection. But, what does it have to do with me? Lily asked him softly. Mark, should I bear the pain? Maybe our fate ended long ago when you threw away my hand when we were little. We shouldn't meet again. You and I are destined to be people in 2 worlds. Go back, I don't want to hate you, and I don't want to have anything to do with you. I just pretend that it never started between us. The 28th day of the 12th lunar month. All the store employees are on vacation. Lily was nestled behind the cashier by herself, Yuan lying on her lap, her little tail wagging behind her. The wind chime rang on the door. Closed today. The footsteps didn't stop. Lily looked up. An old woman stood in the doorway. She was well-kept and wore a well-dressed cashmere coat. Lily was stunned for a moment. Auntie? Mark's mother walked in and stood in front of the cashier. She is old. After not seeing him for 3 years, most of his hair has turned gray and the wrinkles at the corners of his eyes have deepened. At this moment she was looking at Lily in tears. Yow. Her voice trembled. Lily stood up. Why are you here? Her tears came one after another. Lily panicked. Auntie, don't cry, sit down and talk. Yow, she grabbed Lily's hand. Save Mark. Lily was stunned. He's dying. The smell of disinfectant in the hospital corridors is pungent. Mark's mother's hands kept shaking, so Lily helped her walk to the door of the ward. Yow, go and persuade him to stop drinking all day long. His body is about to collapse. Lily walked in and closed the door. Mark lay motionless on the hospital bed. Only the white mist on his mask from time to time could still confirm that he was alive. But after not seeing him for half a month, he was already so haggard that he looked like a man. The cheekbones are high and the eye sockets are sunken. There was an infusion needle stuck on the back of the hand, and the skin was so white that it turned blue. Is it necessary? Lily said. Mark opened his eyes. He looked at her and smiled. It's necessary. You came to see me, didn't you? Yow. He called her Yow. She hadn't heard this title for many years. Mark, I have told you before that you are a selfish person. Lily sat on the edge of the bed. You only think about yourself, whether you are happy or not, and whether you get what you want. You never care about the people around you. People can't live too self-centered. Mark, your world can't be just you and me. The ward fell silent. You have your life, your family, your friends. Lily clapped her fingers and said, this trick of yours can only work on people who care about you. Mark, if my aunt hadn't come so far to beg me, I wouldn't have been able to come see you. Whether you live or die is meaningless to me. But I care about my aunt, and I don't want to make her sad. Do you understand? Mark avoided her gaze. He wanted to cry, but felt weak, so he buried half of his face in the quilt. Tears still fell down unsatisfactorily. I have my own life too. Lily said, Mark, no one should be around anyone else. I made it very clear that night, there is no possibility for us to be friends anymore. You can die. Go ahead. Do you dare? Do you dare to leave everyone and everything behind you and die so calmly? He closed his eyes. Lily didn't want to say anything more, so she just left him a message. Take care of yourself. Lily took the cat away. Mark has raised him for 3 years, and his coat has become shiny and he has gained weight. Yuan gets along well with her. Usually the two kittens lie in Lily's arms together, stretching and basking in the warm sunshine. The days are leisurely and uneventful. The only interruption was seeing a piece of news on my phone. Cece's father was suspected of financial fraud and money laundering, involving a huge amount of money, and was sentenced to life imprisonment. On the day of the execution, the news included a photo of him as a young man, wearing a suit and looking high-spirited. 3 days later, another piece of news popped up. Cece committed suicide. From the 27th floor. The picture is mosaic, and you can vaguely see a pool of blood on the ground. Lily thought, this is retribution. Mark never bothered her again. Several years later, Lily almost forgot about this person. Until one afternoon, the flower shop received a letter without payment. Lily took it apart. There was a piece of white feather stuck to the letter. She turned to the back and there were 2 lines of words. I protect animals in Africa. These are the fallen feathers of birds. I send them to you to see. The employees moved forward curiously. What is this? Sister, who sent it to you? Yuan rolled over on Lily's lap. It stood up, snatched away the feather with its claws, and chased after the other cat. Lily smiled as she watched the 2 kittens running in the sunshine. Nothing, she said. Insignificant stuff. Okay, audience friends, the story is over here. I know what you want to ask me. You want to ask me, has Lily finally forgiven Mark? Does that feather mean they are reconciled? Is Mark trying to atone for his sins in Africa? Does Lily regret aborting that child? What I want to say is that there is no standard answer to this story. I only saw a girl who spent a whole 10 years loving someone who didn't dare to admit that he loved her. In this relationship, she lost her father, her dignity, her child, and almost herself. And that man spent the rest of his life going to Africa to protect animals, sending letters to an address that would never reply. Do you think this is redemption? I don't judge. I just want to tell all the girls who are watching this video, if you are in a relationship and feel like a substitute, feel like you are being called in and out, and feel that all your efforts cannot be exchanged for a word of recognition, please trust your intuition. You are not overthinking. You're not too sensitive. You just met someone who wasn't ready to love you. And that person's not ready shouldn't be your responsibility. Okay, that ends today's story. If you like our channel, remember to subscribe, like and share. If you also have stories you want to tell me, please leave a message in the comment area or send me a private message. See you next time.